Hey guys, Brad from Blumenau Farm. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how to change your final drive oil, normally 80-90 weight, in this Kubota SLV90 skid steer. But this applies to basically excavators and dozers and anything that basically has a set of tracks. So let me kind of go over what you need to do to change your final drive oil. So stay tuned. So to do a SLV90 Kubota, you need an 8mm hex bit and a ratchet. You would also need a tub to put your oil into, old oil, as it squirts out of the final drive. And you're going to need 80-90 weight oil to actually refill this. And you're probably going to need 2 quarts or less for this skid steer. But if you're getting the bigger machines like dozers or certain size excavators, you're going to need the proper amount. And this 8mm may not work also for a different machine. It's mostly made specifically for this Kubota. But these are basically the general tools that you're going to need to do an oil change. And what's nice about an oil change on a final drive, it involves 0 filters. Secondly, it's probably one of the most neglected pieces of equipment as far as parts go that people don't change the oil on a regular basis. You know, rule of thumb, from what I was told, it should be about every 250 hours for you to check these. For a couple different reasons. One, you don't want to run low of your final drive, because if you have no oil in here, you're going to tear up your final drive, wreck all the gears inside, and you basically won't be able to move. So that's your first biggest hurdle if you don't keep up with this. Number 2 is normally the oil is relatively clear, but once we start popping it, you're going to smell it. It's going to have a stronger smell to it, and it's going to come out pretty black. If it comes across milky, that means moisture is getting into your final drive, and that means that you may have actually a seal leak that you may need to address, because obviously there's a way it's getting in here, and a lot of times it goes in through a hole or where you actually have a leak. If it winds up getting too thin because of moisture and less oil, you can tear up your final drives as well. So there's a lot of good reasons why you want to do this, and it's a good peace of mind to know that your final drives are in good shape, because they're very costly to replace. As far as taking the final drive off the skid steer, I just made a video on that, and it's relatively pretty simple. Almost anybody can do it. As far as the seals go, make sure you send it out to an expert. If you get to that situation where you need to replace your seals, let somebody that knows what they're doing put the new seals in. It'll save you a lot of grief. But learning how to take apart a final drive to send it out is a very easy thing to do. It's not that complicated, and almost everybody can do so, in my opinion. So with that said, let's go and do a quick oil change on my final drive on the other side. So before we start, I wound up taking a bucket and set a pan to catch the oil right underneath. And what you have here on final drives is you have 3 basic bolts that need to come out. You have one here, and this one actually is where the oil drains out. You have one on top here, which is where you fill it. And the third one that's right here is the one that will, once you have enough in it where you're filling it, it'll come out this hole. And this tells you you're full at the proper level. So those are the 3 holes that we have. Now what I'm going to do is take this one off first and then break the bottom one. And the reason for that is once I break this bottom one, it's going to have air going through this and oil will shoot out into my pan. So that'll be the reason why I do that. And then I'll take this third one out as it's draining. And that's pretty much it. So again, try to keep your machine clean so you have access to these. And like I said, you do not want to strip these bolts, because once you strip them, there's no going back. So I'll take, this one's loose and this one's loose. So I'm going to take this one completely out. Now the other thing I want to point out too is on this Kubota, to do these things and to be in the proper position, you want this to be vertical, where the bottom hole and the top hole are in line with themselves. On this Kubota skid steer, there's this little line that's right here. It's kind of like embedded in the machine. It kind of like shows you a level line. So that gives you an idea where you need to be in the proper position. So that's the only thing you need to do. And then you should have no problem as far as taking this thing apart and filling it properly. So So now once this one comes out, the oil should come out. And I'm guessing it's going to probably be black in color. Here it is. So it is black. Now the first time when I did this, about 250 hours ago, it was really smelly, real strong smelling. And this time today, it's really not as bad because it probably wasn't changed for a long, long time prior to the last oil change. But again, look at the color, make sure that everything looks good, and you'll be in good shape. You don't want to lose these little screws because they're small, so just keep them handy. And I'm just going to let this drain. And once this is done draining, then we're going to put the cap back in at the bottom, and then we'll just start filling it. And once it starts to run out of the top, then we know that we're good to go. So I'll give it a minute, and we'll come back to this and fill it right back up. All right, so now that we're drained out, what we're going to do is we're going to put our plugs back in. So the first thing we're going to do is put the bottom plug in. And then once this is in, we'll snug it up. Now some people use Teflon on their threads. I don't, and I don't think it's necessary, but if you are leaking, maybe Teflon might be the answer. And again, do not strip these out because you're not going to be happy. So just get them snug. So now, once that bottom one's in, we're going to fill it. We're going to fill at the top plug, and we're expecting it to run out of this one. And then once it starts running, then we're full. So again, that's why I like these 1-quart bottles that are cone. And it should take roughly 1.5 bottles for this Kubota. So I just get it in, squeeze it, let air get to it. All right, so this one's empty. And I buy 5-gallon buckets of 80-90, and then I just transfer them over to these small ones. So you want to keep these little 1-quart hand applicators because they're really handy for this type of work. And actually I wound up going out and buying these specifically for this. And I just keep them. I use them over and over. All right, see we're coming out? So now we're full. So I'll take our other plug and we will put it on. And we'll fill in our plug that it's coming out of. So now we know we have the proper amount, and we'll just tighten this one up. So now we'll just do the last plug, our fill area, and then we'll be done. I mean, this is really quick to do. It really isn't taking that much time, and it's well worth changing your oil, and then you got peace of mind. There you have it. So that's all it takes to change your final drive oil, and you do it on both sides every 250 hours. And watch for leaks if you have any, and you'll be good to go. Very simple. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Changing your final drive oil is probably neglected by many people. It's probably one of the easiest oil changes you could easily do. And it doesn't matter if you have an excavator, a bulldozer, or a skid steer. Those final drives are the heart of the machine. And, you need to take care of them and maintain them. And by changing this final drive oil on a regular basis, you'll be good to go. So, try this. If you never change your final drive oil, it's really easy. And, just line everything up properly, and, you're off to the races. So, with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.